I began working at PBS in 1971 for my new job. I got to watch new episodes of shows like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and others. I had super fun and awesome time until I quit my job in 1985. But quitting wasn't the worst part. The worst part was in 1974. Me and 5 other interns, named Henry, Joe, Joey, Sean, Allison, and Sammy, that's probably not important at all, but you can know that, we're ready to watch a new episode of Sesame Street. They expected it to be the very first episode of Season 6, but what we saw was very different from what was broadcasted. And I mean very. Was broadcast. Broadcasted is not correct grammar. I don't want to go too far into this story because I was just, well, you know what though, let's tell the full story. Man, just how could I forget about this entire experience? The episode started and we were ready to view it. But that's when things started to get odd. The first thing I noticed was that the quality was horrible. It started with Big Bird walking down the street to visit Oscar. For some reason, however, Oscar looked mad, like something horrible had happened. Big Bird looked depressed as Oscar was yelling at him, even though he didn't do anything to anger him. I was confused by this scene. I could tell the other interns were thinking the same way I was. Right. Then it cut to Elmo, or what looked like a prototype of him sitting on a sofa. This is a prototype of Elmo. It's a circle head with eyes. How could you have a prototype of that? Anyway, the strange thing was Elmo didn't exist back in 1974, and he wasn't a puppet. Wait, so this was in 1974? So the author of this must be like at least 60 years old. 70, 80. This is mind-blowing. He was a live costume similar to Big Bird, with a performer inside him. Thanks for sharing. Then he said something that shocked us. He said, "Listen up, all of you! Elmo's about to mess Sesame Street up and make everyone Elmo's slaves! Elmo will hunt you down and beat you up! Then Elmo will make all of you face the kiss of death! You all must burn in hell!" The next scene made some of the interns horrified. In the next shot, we saw Cookie Monster, except he was all red. Then he yelled, "Listen up, everyone! I'm about to kill my creator, Jim Henson!" He ended up doing just that. After killing Jim, he started eating him. He pulled out his brains, guts, hearts, flesh, eyeballs, and other internal organs and ate all of them. It was disgusting. Okay. I thought Cookie Monster only ate cookies. This was a fucking lie. Then we saw Grover on an airplane. He had an empty beer bottle and a cell phone, which was exist back then. Okay. Yeah, wow. This show created cell phones. Grover suddenly got drunk and ran to the emergency exit. He opened the door and jumped out. He fell to the ground and died. And the next scene came and scared us all horribly. It showed Big Bird being thrown off a cliff into the ocean by an unknown source with an anvil on his leg. He struggled to free himself from the anvil underwater for about a minute and drowned. Next scene showed Ernie sitting on a chair. A noose was visible up above. Ernie was... Okay, this is good. Ernie was writing a diary. It said, "Dear Diary, my life sucks. At this point, my life sucks so badly that I had no other choice than to end it all. If my suicide affects anyone negatively, I apologize in advance. Lastly, I must thank all my family and friends for the support they have given me throughout my time here on Sesame Street. Goodbye, Ernie." Then he hung himself on the noose mentioned earlier. Bert then appeared. When he discovered the body of Ernie, he gave a blank expression. However, what he did next was just weird, yet appalling. He took down Ernie's corpse and ate his brain. I don't know why he did this, I just don't. The credits... the credits were in Japanese. A distorted version of the music normally heard in Season 6 credits played. Oh, we got an expert here. Then the episode finally ended. The other interns were shocked. What were their names again? Oh, that's right, you never mentioned them again. Some were pissed off. I was just speechless. We were then searching for the maker. We couldn't find whoever made it, but what happened next was scary. You couldn't find whoever made it. It would have to be an entire team of people making it. In that entire building, you couldn't find all of these the actors. Okay. We saw Elmo, or more likely someone in an Elmo suit. What? Isn't every Elmo someone in an Elmo suit? What the frick else would it? It's not a person. Oddly enough, it was the same costume used in the episode, and he was insane and had a gun. He was coming for us while shouting, "Sesame Street is now over!" He shot his gun all over the place, and me and the other interns thankfully got away. The guy in the costume was actually a psychopath who kidnapped the producers to create the awful episode. Of course he was. Me and the other interns saw that on the news. The psycho got a life sentence in prison for a murder charge unrelated to the episode. Everyone was relieved. Anyway, the reason why I quit was when, in late 1985, the year Elmo appeared in his modern form, I was just, you were like 55 then. I was just resting on the couch watching TV, but suddenly I heard a voice. It whispered, "Sesame Street is now over. Try to keep this interesting for Elmo." I looked back, and what I saw was horrifying. What I saw was an Elmo plushie with blood, guts, and even bones on it. Bones on it. Not bones in it, but it had bones on top of it. It had a knife in its hand. It's the possessive form. It's incorrect grammar. And a gun in the other. It had a creepy grin, and its eyes, quote-unquote, were empty black holes. It also had a note which read a bunch of Asian characters. After some hours of trying to figure out what the note translated to, I discovered what it meant. "You are the next victim. Elmo will hunt you down. Praise the devil. Someday I will be next." The end. Well, that was not a bad story. Actually, I'm very curious as to what those letters are, if they actually, like, so obviously somebody used Google Translate, but I'm just curious as to what the actual letters say. So let's go to Japanese to English and enter the text here. Elmo, it says, "You are the next victim. Elmo hunts you, admiring the devil." Admiring the devil. Like it's the infinitive. Forever admiring the devil. Okay. That's pretty close because the actual thing said praise the devil. It says admiring the devil. So that's different from praising. But what happens when you put something in Google Translate and you translate it back, sometimes it makes like a weird translation because of the language barrier. Anyway, I'm going to give that episode a, I want to say a C, but the thing is, like, that stuff about him being in 1970, that was creative, because that would make the creator like a senior citizen by the time this story was written, and that's pretty amazing. That's pretty creative, just even if it's incidental. I'm gonna give this a B minus. This is a B minus, a strong B minus. It'd be like a, like an 80. Yeah, like an 80.002% would be the grade. So yeah, it's just above average, but you know, it had its moments, and I was thoroughly entertained. The grammar was bad, but it was actually good in some places. It was kind of like a mixed bag. It just needed to be edited, I think. But overall, this was not bad. This was not the worst story I've read.